I'm excited to be here. My name's Cam Rollins. I'm the industry representative. I work for West Fraser Timber. I'm a resource analyst, and very happy to be here today to talk about why forests matter. My entire life is forests. It's the place I work. It's the place I play. And I know the people in this room, they depend on the forest. And the decisions I make on that forest land base affect everyone here. It connects us all. So as I said, I'm a resource analyst for West Fraser. We're a Canadian-built company, 10,000 employees now. We're currently celebrating our 60th birthday, just like Mr. Keating here. I also saw in a commercial yesterday, Disneyland is turning 60 as well. I don't know whose party was better, but ours definitely had unlimited ice cream, so a pretty good one. I also belong to the Association of Forest Management Professionals. So this is an association that regulates 1,600 foresters like me across the province who make decisions on the forested land base. So let's get into why forests matter to me, why they matter to the industry. First of all, they matter to me and my family. This is my wife, Jessica, our little fur baby, Rosie. We spend most of our weekends in the forest. These are pictures from the forest I grew up in, the forest I explored west of Sundre, and this is a forest I make forest management plans for right now. And that picture on the right there, that was about 5 seconds before I proposed to Jessica. This forest means a lot to me, and this is a forest where I work right now. That tall guy in the middle of this picture, that's my Uncle Bob. He got a forestry degree from UBC in 1949. One of the reasons that we're able to explore the forests of Alberta is because of the roads that he designed, one of them being the Forestry Trunk Road down here in the south. This is my little brother Curtis, taller, better looking than me, smarter. He's at the U of A doing forest research. He's got a master's in natural resource economics. And this is my dad. He's the sales manager at Spray Lake Sawmills. He actually met my mom working at a forest company in Grand Prairie. So forests obviously matter to me. If they didn't exist, I never would have been born. So I'll talk a little bit more about what I do as a resource analyst. It's one of my jobs to ensure that we have healthy forests forever. I make 200-year management plans. I get these management plans third-party certified. These management plans have targets for old-growth forest, for wildlife habitat, to protect our watersheds. And this is the forest that I'm building a plan for right now. As you can see, most of that forest, it's kind of tough to see here, but most of the forest is over 100 years old that I'm working in. Uncle Bob, the same Uncle Bob I talked about before, did an inventory for this same forest. In 1915, 100 years ago, this forest was mostly under 100 years old. So very interesting. Why do you think that happened in Alberta? Why is our forest older than it would be in 1915? Fire suppression. This is something that we're the best at the world at. And Uncle Bob, he was actually a bomber pilot in World War II. He brought these water bombers to Alberta to help fight fire. It's interesting. Our forest is a little bit older than it would be naturally, but that's not necessarily the best thing for the environment. Our species here, our plants, our animals, they're dependent on on disturbance. They've evolved with disturbance. What we're trying to do in Alberta is we're trying to stop these fires, and we're trying to strategically place our disturbance to emulate these fires. We want our forests to look like they would naturally. That's what plants need, that's what animals need. So as you can see in these pictures, half of them are natural disturbance, half of them are cut blocks. Really hard to see the difference. After 15, maybe 20 years, these areas look identical, and they're the same ecosystem. And we regenerate every area we cut. We planted 65 million trees in Alberta last year. And when we cut a pine tree, we plant a pine tree. When we cut spruce trees, we plant spruce trees. In order for us to have old growth forests for our children, we need to have young forests now as well. And the forest industry, it does matter to Alberta. The industry, it's one of the pillars of our economy. $5.5 billion in revenue last year. That's a pillar along with agriculture, tourism, and of course, oil and gas. 50% of our product is consumed locally right here in Canada, 25% in the United States, and 12% in China, which is up drastically from 10 years ago when we were 0% in China. So our products go around the world, and they're products to be proud of. They're sustainably sourced, and they're the highest quality in the world. And that's because of the people we employ. 15,000 people employed in Alberta directly by the forest industry. Another 30,000, like my brother, who works at the University of Alberta doing research, the government of Alberta approving our plans. 45,000 people across 70 communities are dependent on the forest industry. And we produce incredible renewable products. The trees are incredible. They have this ability to harness the power of the sun, take in carbon dioxide as they're growing, and store that carbon dioxide for us. But as trees get older, they start to break down, they release that carbon dioxide back into the forest. If we can cut those trees before they die and release that carbon dioxide, we can store it and help battle the impacts of climate change. So in Alberta, this is recently announced. I was going to talk a lot about wood products, but you can see them everywhere in this building. The beams here, over top of the hockey arenas in here. But we're allowed to build 6-story wood buildings now in Alberta. This is important because 8% of our global greenhouse gas emissions come from concrete and steel. So if we can replace that with wood products, huge benefit to the environment. At UBC, they're building an 18-story wood building right now. And you guys all watched the Olympics in Vancouver. Pine beetle killed wood over top of our Olympic oval, a building to be proud of that was seen around the world. And we're not just making buildings, wood products like we used to. We're making green renewable energy in the forest industry right now. 440 megawatts last year. That's enough to provide 70% of our energy use. We're almost all the way to being a net zero emission industry. And we're producing cool new products all the time. So we can break trees down into cellulose fibers. We can make light, strong products that are used in car panels. They're used in aerospace design that we're making clothing out of now. It's a truly renewable product, the trees that we're growing right here in Alberta. So obviously, forests quite important to the industry in Alberta. I'm proud to be a part of this industry. I got into forestry because I truly wanted to make a difference in the environment. And forests matter for so many reasons. As a forest manager in Alberta, it's my job to protect the forest for the public, create economic opportunity for Albertans, but most importantly, to ensure that our forests are healthy. Sustaining healthy forests is vital to our industry, but it's important to me and the professionals I work with. We have to ensure our forests are healthy, and it's my legacy to ensure we have forests for our children. Thanks.